Hey, Susie,
Yes.
are the two people that are attendees, are they both on this agenda?
Paul Hollander was on the last agenda. There were questions about the stormwater drainage elevation he had. If you'd like to talk to him, I can allow him to speak.
Yeah, his first to be fine.
Okay, great. Hi, Paul. Can you go ahead and unmute?
There we go.
Good morning.
Good morning. Can everybody hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, well, I went to my engineer and we discussed the matter, and he said that since this particular lot was a lot that I purchased actually from the engineer, Axe Engineering, he said that, well, all along that that alternate location down in the bottom, there's 23 feet of lot that abuts the right of way there on Sudden Valley Drive. He said that that would be a good location as well. It's more expense, of course, to bring it down there, but it's probably the best solution here. And I know it would make the neighbor much more happier if there wasn't any outflow there. So that's where the engineer has moved it. And I shared that amended site plan with its location with both Joel and Susie.
I'll send it out right now to you guys. If you maybe want to make an email vote after you see the information, that would be.
No, I understand what he's discussing and stuff. I really don't even need to see it. I think that's, I'm happy with that change.
Yeah, I'd like to see it. What's the road in the back there? It looked like it was Lake Wacom Boulevard.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
So, and the designer thought it could be discharged to the slope, like with a spreader thing or whatever, or what?
The,
Anyway,
stormwater trench, the phosphorus trench. There's good, should be very good soil depth there to put the 6 by 4 by 3 foot trench in. It should operate very well there, and the discharge going into the ditch right beside the road.
Yeah, that's down toward the bottom, so it wouldn't be cutting into the steeper slope area, right?
I plan to run actually there is a nice draw that goes through there.
Yeah.
And it's the draw, Karen, that we discussed. So what I envision is putting the rock wall there to replace the cedar tree, but underneath laying the pipe in that draw. There should be no disturbance of any root systems at all, just by laying the discharge pipe in that.
Okay, so just on the ground.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that sounds, that looks actually.
It looks nice.
Nice, yeah. Great.
It's actually a superior, there's a lot of reasons why it's superior front. We should have been designed that way from the get-go. We have now no concerns at all about roof in the back being problematic with getting water around to the front. So there's still on the driveway, there'll be a trench in front of that will still drain back here. I think it's a winner.
Great.
Make a motion from someone?
I move to approve the adjustment.
I'll second.
All in favor of the new stormwater plan? All right, looks unanimous.
Are we deferred on this, waiting for this to happen, or is he ready to go forward now? We don't need to vote on anything else, do we, Joe?
There were some other comments, but I have to go look at my packet to see what they were. Nothing as important.
Excuse me. There were some other smaller issues, but this was the big one. The main reason for deferral, and then I think trying to think. I don't know if I have my notes. I don't have my notes with me. They might be an email, but this was the big one. But you could approve with comments and follow up the rest of the comments with
I think
me.
Karen's grabbing her notes.
It seems to be whatever else was, because we were holding it up because this could affect the height and stuff, which was a big thing. And this seems to solve all of the majors. Seems to me everything else was stuff that you'd be able to resolve as you were working, but that's my memory of it anyway. It seemed to be this was the only thing that was really holding it up.
I feel like this is a good solution. The neighbor next door I had a couple conversations with her, and she had concerns about the stormwater going into her ditch. So I'm happy about it. It makes everyone happy.
Okay.
Yeah, if I could say something.
Yeah.
One of the other things was that I think we've already worked through is that with the adjusted elevations at the house, we are now solidly being able to meet that 20-foot requirement off of the elevation behind the rockery. So measuring off of that 10 feet off the corner of the house to the highest point of the roof, the peak of the roof, then we're right at 20 feet pretty comfortably with the elevation that I have to work with in that corner, the corner of that lot to the right of the house.
Okay, that's great. Let's see what I have now. Okay, I don't really remember. I don't seem to have printed out my other comments on that.
But Joel, you're saying there were additional comments that you recollect?
Just some small ones, yeah, minor things.
Can we do an email vote after I have a chance to look on the rest of it?
Yeah, just wonder if there's anything holding them up from getting started.
Yeah, I can't think of anything. It seemed to me everything was tied to the to this stormwater, because if he was going to have to raise it to get the stormwater out, then the question was it was going to affect the height and everything else. And so it seemed to be, since he solved the stormwater, the height issue isn't a problem anymore. And I think everything else was just little details that we figured Joel could work out during his initial meetings and stuff.
I believe that is correct. That was my understanding from the last meeting. One of the things that was not talked about was stormwater off the back of the house, how that was going to get around to the front, but that one is also being taken care of by this solution.
Yeah, I remember we had our standard like landscape plan comment, and I don't remember anything else right now that was completely unrelated to this, or mostly unrelated.
So do you want to amend your motion to just to approval from the stormwater system to approve the project?
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the construction as amended and let him go forward, and have Joel work out any of the small details that are still hanging.
Can I get a second to that?
Yes, I will.
All in favor of that? Okay, it's unanimous.
It's in your lap now, Joel.
And Joel, I'll take you, we'll follow up on the additional comments when you get back and you're able to actually see what they are. I do remember them being very minimal. And I agree with Bruce that most things were handled with the stormwater realignment, relocation, actually.
Okay, so
I do have one question if I'm allowed to speak.
Yes, go ahead, Paul.
Okay, I have been putting off a tree feller and for a while. I'm just trying to keep in his schedule. I would like to start felling trees next week. I realize Joel's on vacation. We were going to have a compliance review. I was wondering if we could have that compliance review after I've felled the trees.
Can we pull that drawing up?
Um,
I don't know. That's
I mean,
strictly Joel's call, I'm afraid.
yeah,
Joel?
it's Joel's.
Yeah,
think it happens
kinda-
after you start digging, it's probably okay, but that's Joel's call, I guess.
Usually Susie and I wheelhouse. So, the language says that we have to do the compliance review before any tree felling and dirt work can begin. We can schedule that meeting for Thursday next week. Then you could start tree felling Friday. I think, I don't know, Susie, what do you think about that? Because the deposit needs to be paid first. Encroachment permit needs to be issued.
we can get all of that done digitally. I can get the rep signed digitally, but then we could have him put in for the inspection. If you do want to see it beforehand, we can do it that Thursday, have him start felling Friday.
Mm-hmm.
That might be the best we can do.
Of next week, you're saying?
Yes. Is this inspection that you do before it, is it the type of inspection you could do retroactively without much issue?
This is our compliance review where we sit down
Right.
and read the rules. So we could do it. We could, but before any trees come down, the deposit needs to be in place and
Yes.
the encroachment permit.
Do you want him to maybe sign that he's read those or something? We can make him DocuSign something or whatever works for you.
Sure, we could do that.
Yeah. And then
Send
we'll
the
have the office girls get the paperwork done for him and his sign done.
Okay.
Okay.
Works
All
for me.
right, Paul. Paul, does that sound good to you?
That sounds good to me. My understanding, the last two things are before I get started is the encroachment permit and then the permit from my deposit, which I'm willing to pay, and then also the Whatcom County water and sewer permit, which it'll be issued on Monday. And so I think those are the last things that in the compliance, but yeah, time is of the essence. And I've got some great contractors that have been chomping at the bit and so I don't want to get passed by on their schedules.
No problem. Joel, get me that rep and I'll get it signed digitally, and then we'll update the front office as to what you require. Okay, Paul?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul. Appreciate your time, sir.
You bet. And have a great weekend. Stay cool, everyone.
Yeah, really.
Okay, hey, guys, before we move on, I think we need to get item number 1 off here is the approval of the June 2021 meeting. Or did you guys already do that when I was waiting for my invite?
Move to approve.
The
Second.
agenda.
Third,
Yeah. All right, unanimous.
Yeah,
All right, item number 2 was approval of June 24th, 2021 meeting minutes.
I don't have those done yet, but I can email them out as soon as they are done.
I say we'll have to defer that then. Don't worry about that. We're just meeting next Thursday anyways, right?
I believe that the meeting for next Thursday has been canceled. Is that right, Joel? Due to the holiday and the heat.
Right on.
I believe Joel said he thinks you guys deserve a week off.
Oh, isn't that nice of Joel? All right. Item number 3 is 38 Harborview Drive, new construction. So Joel, thank you for taking time out of your vacation this morning to get these done. I appreciate that. Or do we want to jump to 9 Clematis Lane since we have Laura, an attendee, waiting?
Let's let Laura talk.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Laura.
Hi.
Good morning.
Yeah, I've never been through any of this kind of process, so I guess I'll let you guys be my guide, but I don't know if you have any outstanding questions for me. I think the only thing that we ended up doing was moving the water filtration trench back, just because once we were on site, we realized the water can't go at the top of the hill. It needs to go at the bottom.
I wasn't able to
Joel?
look at this one.
What were the comments on this one? Joel, do you have the list of the comments, or Karen, you might have them?
I can pull them up here. Fine, Clematis. Yeah, let's see. So setbacks, this house looks too large for the lot. There's a variance request for the deck extending into the side yard. Right, and we have that up in the drive. So that will need to be considered. Where's my right folder up here?
Now, the setback lines that's showing on that site plan, I take it that's not our specified setback distances? Because you're seeing that the corners of the house in a couple places look like they're eating into that. So are those 5 foot on the sides and the back and 20, or is that some other weird number?
It's dimensioned as being 5 feet. And
I didn't have any issues with the setbacks on the side and the rear. It is dimensioned to the eave at 5 at the rear and 5 on the side.
So that one, and then the dotted setback line, which normally is a 5 footer, looks like it's going to the corner of the wall, and that seems different than the 5 foot that you have dimension to the eave. So I'm just was trying to figure out what I was looking at with those setbacks.
yeah, I guess that's kind of misdrawn, but they do show the 5 feet on both of those locations. And the dotted line on the other side, I believe, is 20 feet, like it should be.
Yep.
And that looks like it's going right to the side of the wall again instead of the deck. So it's hard to figure out exactly what I was looking at on that one.
Yeah, on the garage front, it looks like you're good.
Oops.
And the deck sticks out 4 feet, and I suppose the eave sticks out just a little bit there too. 1 4 foot variance probably covers that.
I'm seeing the property line as that purple line.
Right, but the setback is the dotted line, the dashed line.
So this
is 20 feet from the property line because it's a road.
Okay, it's road.
And that overhang there, yeah.
A little bit of overhang also, I guess.
Looks like the 20's going right to the wall on that side if the dotted line is a 20-foot mark, which I wasn't sure anymore after seeing the other sides.
It is confusing.
So they're asking for a 4 foot variance.
correct.
Was that part of the submittal, Joel?
Sorry?
Was a 4 foot variance part of the submittal request with this project?
Yes, it was. And I had the variance submitted. Shoot, I guess I didn't get it up here. The address was listed originally as 7 Clematis, which was a minor thing, so I didn't scan it in. And then there was a new one that was dropped off to the office, and I wasn't there when it was dropped off and I couldn't find it, but it's for that variance request, just extending into the side setback for the deck. So nothing.
Looks like that property line is a fair amount away from the road's edge there. It looks like there's a lot of land in between the property line and the road there.
Yeah, I wouldn't have any problem approving that 4-foot variance.
Yeah, me either.
You want to get a motion for the variance?
I'll move to approve the 4-foot variance on the deck.
On the side, including the little roof overhang. And I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Oh, okay. It's unanimous.
Comments. So this is good, and I commented to Laura overall that the plans were very good. Not a lot of. So we got the variance. Please show a drain, swale, or strip drain in your driveway profile. There's one of the comments. The section for the driveway. So the driveway, I thought there was a little bit of a swale here.
The bottom is the edge of pavement. It should be 3.5 feet further.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Put it out if that's the edge of the pavement.
Yeah, so the water that runs that direction won't be on the pavement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's 6 inches to 3 feet, right? That's where the.
It's a -2%, whatever that works out to. I don't know. Didn't do the math. Yeah. 3.5 feet, -2%. It's in Appendix A.
And what's the other last one? Finish grade at front of garage, a full foot lower than garage slab elevation.
I think that's just on that one sheet, so it's probably just a little oopsie.
Garage floor is showing 100.
Yeah. And the top of driveway elevation isn't labeled, but it looks like it's also 100 in this, on this sheet, but on a different sheet, it's shown differently, so. I don't think, that's just for their information. I don't think, we're gonna.
So I can make sure they have that drain swale, and that is part of our driveway inspection as well.
Yeah. It should be shown on the plan, so I don't know, I mean, it's so it's remembered. There are a lot of driveways in this community that don't seem to follow Appendix A, including my neighbors across the street, whose water comes straight across into my driveway. It has been frozen on top of the road out on its way on a cold day, winter day, which isn't good for safety either. So I'd like to see the driveway strip drain or swale. Not something that we forget.
Right, we won't forget that. So I can have them update the plans and put a swale, indicate a swale on the driveway. And then what's the last part? And then the garage. Is that the last comments we've got here?
Yep, for me anyway.
Looks like it.
And that one doesn't really need to be, it doesn't affect our decision.
Okay.
Or my decision anyway.
Okay, well, that's all we have for this one then.
I didn't actually look at the colors, Bruce. Did anybody else
think
look at the
I
color?
did. I don't recall them right offhand because it didn't seem to trigger anything on me, but gray and white,
Mm-hmm.
very standard. It'll blend into almost any place. So
All right then, well,
Let's see.
Are we allowing exterior lighting on there?
We're allowing the exterior lighting.
Yeah, right there.
So this is one where, you know, I've seen a lot of, and I had this question come up. We know whether this meets the exposed bulb rule, exposed lighting.
Certainly looks like it does to me, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, depends on, I guess, how high it's mounted and where you're viewing it from.
yeah, this lot was higher than the one. Actually, it's the highest, but it was significantly higher than the neighbor in the back. Which direction am I thinking? At the top of the page there. So do they show where the lights go?
I think it would just be on either side of the garage, flanking the garage doors. And then we'd probably just have recessed cans in the front porch area. So you wouldn't have anything on that side.
I need to take care of some business real quick. We'll be right back.
He's got a baby running around, so who knows what that was about. We'll give him a minute.
Okay, so
And that light fixture looks all right to me.
we craft a motion that allows that light fixture on the side facing,
On the sides of the garage,
on the garage side, and something
but maybe not the back.
not on the deck.
Yeah, that's the problem. When you start putting them on, an architect gets the idea, hey, let's add a couple more here or there. And so I don't have a problem with the beam in the front on the garage, like I guess like a porch light or side light for the garages. But I do have issues with houses down below, like Karen pointed out. Sometimes you could be below the road, so it's not an issue from that. But you have people that live down below you that your light is right in their face. So that's why typically we require it either be frosted bulbs, and we can still do that, or covered. Now we could approve the fixture itself just with a frosted bulb. So it's just not a clear filament, you know.
Yeah, but then who's gonna remember that? The house sells a couple years from now, some new person has no idea they're supposed to be using frosted bulbs.
Replace the light bulbs, I agree. Oh,
That's a good point.
It would be better if we had a fixture that didn't have an exposed bulb like that. If Laura is willing to, I mean, because we can approve the construction without necessarily approving the light fixture design, and you'd have plenty of time to come up with a better, another one.
Yeah, we can pick something out. That was just, it kind of looked similar to the one of the options that was on there. I didn't realize that the exposed bulb was an issue. So I can easily find something else.
I think that would make us a little more comfortable to have something that shields the bulb.
Okay, easily done.
gotta make sure Joel gets that. Or Susie, you got it at least, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And personally, I didn't have any problem with it, so. Yeah.
Yeah, personally, I prefer that we have a rule that all exterior lighting gets turned off at 9:30 p.m.
We did that here in our neighborhood. It was really nice like that. And then when I was in Colorado, I looked at my my Arlo footage of a guy prowling my car in the middle of the night. And after that, my whole neighborhood has been keeping their lights on at night. So
Yeah, that's the way we are. It's almost like daylight on the street here.
All right, can we get a motion for this project
I move to approve.
with the comment on the, adding the comment about the lighting, exterior lighting? You want to move to approve as is?
I'd like it as is personally, but if someone wants to add that, that's fine.
Yeah.
Step out for just a second, so I'll second.
Okay, so we're adding that comment. Make sure you guys got that.
Yes, that the lighting needs to be revisited.
Okay. All in favor? All right, that's unanimous.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Laura. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Bye, Laura. Have a great day.
What is the next step for me?
So the next step, it sounds like they would like you to revisit that outdoor lighting. It's the only issue left. So if you want to come back when they have picked new lighting and update Joel and I on that, that would be fantastic. Other than that, Joel and I will instruct the front office to go ahead and start some things for you. Joel, do they have their first, have you talked about your first meeting with them yet?
You're muted. Joel, you're muted.
I think I'll probably mention our compliance review meeting, general outline in the process here. But we can talk about that again.
Okay, how soon, when are you back from vacation?
So we can schedule that.
The owner's very eager.
Yeah, we can schedule that for Thursday next week. And then as soon as that's done, you're ready to go.
Perfect. Okay, awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone.
Okay,
Thanks, Laura.
bye, Laura.
Yeah, have a good one.
Okay, now we're going to go to item number 3, which is 38 Harborview Drive, new construction.
Is this a DJ and DJ?
Yes. And I believe Connor is in the meeting here with us. Connor, are you in here?
Who's the anonymous coyote that's also in the ACC spreadsheet file? Is it one of us?
Who?
Joel, you're looking at your spreadsheet. Upper right corner, it says anonymous coyote in there. Anybody know who that is?
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Huh.
Okay.
That's strange.
It's not me, is it? I don't see me up there. Oh, never mind. Maybe I'm not logged in or something.
Now there's an anonymous giraffe.
How interesting is that?
Okay, it's weird. It just seemed like you always like to know who's into our files, but
All right, so on 38 Harborview.
okay. Looks like you're on Karen's list. And then presenting it, yeah.
All right.
Bitch.
So Connor is muted, I think.
All right.
I keep losing my screen.
Connor, we can't hear you.
How about now?
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so here's a report for 38 Harborview with comments from our last, from our 610 meeting. clearing out the dead decaying trees, adding the culvert, fixing landscaping plan, extending retaining wall, adding a compass. All these were comments that have been addressed. The one big one that, major one that got this deferred was the driveway slope. And we went back and forth a little bit with some minor edits here and there where they had changed the garage floor elevation, then made just some little typos here and there on the site plans versus the elevation page. So we went back and it was mostly cleaned up. So if we did find other little inconsistencies between elevations between the site plan and the elevations pages, that might be why. But let's go take a look at the comments. Could not tell whether the height limit is being met. So the height limit is met.
But I mean, is all the labeling on the elevation views, they didn't show anything in the same datum as the survey. There's no elevation 324 or whatever it is. So it was really hard for me to tell, to relate it to the ground line. If you can stick an elevation 484 on there or less, that would make it clear.
Mm-hmm. Right. I know that. So this is doing the elevations and measuring it is part of our checkoff sheet. Running the calculations. And if this was over height, it would have been an issue and come up, and it wouldn't make it on the ACC meeting usually without it. So I know, and I don't have those files. I didn't bring those files with me today.
But as marked on the plans, maximum height measured from where, there's highest grade should have a number, 480, 464, or whatever it is. So it can be verified.
On the site plan, there is a location as to where they're pulling that number from.
Yeah.
That's someplace.
But it's not
On
really,
the bottom, go down to the bottom corner, it says max height from that point.
but the proposed grade at that point is unclear. So that's all. It would be nice to, I think you can, your property line, that 464 contour, existing contour, is also about 10 feet away from that corner. So as long as you're below 484, it should work. But none of your heights really seems to reference an elevation. So that makes it hard for me to see that it is okay.
Okay, so you're saying on the elevation to put that, or to put the elevation on the section where we're showing the max height.
Yeah, elevation is at the highest point.
Got it.
It would be. Anyway.
Driveway slope would be okay, but please build to ACC policies. Into the.
I've got a question on that. The most recent drawing, L1-1 on 6/21/21, they've changed some stuff from the previous one. They're showing the lower elevation of the driveway at 439 and the highest elevation at 449 at the garage face. And yet they've got a vertical dimension of a 9'6" rise. It's still 10 feet if it's 439 to 449. But then they're showing the garage floor at 450.5, which is a 1.5, 18-inch step. you know, the previous drawing on 6/8 showed the floor at 450.5 and the upper elevation at 450.
The garage slab elevation is
450 and 0.5.
still shown that way. Oh,
And the rise is still 10 feet, not 9'6". And that's over the entire distance of 40 feet.
I thought I saw a lower garage slab elevation, but
That was on the previous drawing. Oh, wait, no. The previous drawing still had it at 450.5. But they had the upper elevation at 450.0 instead of 449, which is now shown.
Yeah, I believe the solution was to lower the house. Is it a foot or a foot and a half?
1.5.
Yeah, that's what it'd have to do. But it's, I mean, they're still maxed out on their driveway slope over that 40 feet.
so do the latest plans show the garage slab elevation as lower? I thought they did.
I thought the east elevation is showing it at 449, so we're all looking at the same ones, aren't we?
Yeah, I think if you go to either one of those for that drawing there, it'll show it at 450.5. Go up to the plan view.
Site plan?
Proposed garage.
Oh yeah, it has the garage floor elevation on the site plan was different than what's listed on the elevations page. Yeah, I noticed that when and that's we sent this back and forth a couple times to try to fix those incongruencies. They had lowered the garage slab initially, and then looking at, so they must have missed this one. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's what happened. I talked with Brandon about it when you and I were going back and forth the other day.
Yeah, they lowered the house, lowered the garage slab floor, and then their other elevations some of them were not updated to reflect that. And I don't know if it's a limitation of the CAD software, or if that's something that they have to do by hand, is to go back and change every one of them.
Yeah, I think it was a manual deal that was just an oversight from what I gathered. Because we took and lowered it all 1.5 feet to compensate for the elevation up the driveway.
So it's supposed to be at 449, the garage slab?
Correct.
That's what the other elevation things were showing, so that's what that's all I actually noticed. I didn't notice the one on the other one.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah,
I
it's
guess-
labeled on the landscaping plan too. It's got that label in there just because it's carried forward from someplace.
Yeah, on the front of the garage, it says there at the bottom, 449.
It says,
We had them drop the whole thing down 1.5 feet to compensate for the height and the driveway slope.
So can we approve subject to that comment that the garage slab elevation should be consistently shown at 449?
Yeah, and another thing, they're still showing the driveway slope from the face of the garage down to the street level. And they've got 24% slope, and I don't see how that's going to end up being possible. I think they're going to way exceed 24%. unless it truly is a straight line, but there's a couple of drain tiles in there. I think by the time you get some kind of an apron at the garage side and a little bit of an apron down the street side, it's going to steepen up quite a bit.
Do they have a strip drain at the bottom of the driveway? I think they did, right?
Yeah, they had one just
So they
below
don't
the
think-
stairs there, I think.
So they can
And
go
then
up
another one down by the street.
down by the street. They can start it right away at 23%, which isn't that different actually from 25. It's just a little bit at the top where they need the 18% to make sure that transition is okay. And I had a spreadsheet where I checked it and the geometry seemed to work out to me. Let's see, I'm not really good at this Zoom stuff. Joel's screen is occupying my entire computer screen. Is there a way to
Oh.
shrink it a little bit?
There you go. Sorry.
So I can look at my spreadsheet. Got it open already.
But you don't have 3 screens in front of you?
No,
But there is a drawing that shows almost a level slab coming off the garage to the edge of the outside edge of the stairs. And if you do that, it's going to steepen up quite a bit. I couldn't find a dimension from the garage face to the outside edge of the stairs.
so I got the average elevation, in the middle of the driveway at the roadway pavement edge, 439.5. And if the top is 449, then 9 feet at 23% and 3.5 feet at 18%, and the rest at 25%, you get 448.825 at the top. So that works out according to my little calculator.
Yeah, but if they truly have an apron at the front of the garage that goes out to the edge of the stairs, doesn't that 40 foot's going to shrink quite a bit?
Oh yeah, no, that right up to the garage, they have to have that 3.5 feet of 18%. Go ahead and just share your screen again to see what they're showing.
Well, their cross section doesn't show the change in slopes and stuff though. It's just the one line from the garage to the elevation on the road. So
Yeah, there's no flat spot that I'm seeing.
So, yeah, I did the calculation yesterday at 10 feet, which is what I saw originally, over 40 feet. It was just over 14 degrees and just over 25%.
Yeah, 10 and 40 is 25%, 1/4.
Right. So,
Um,
you know,
but they are actually, I believe, at 439. Oh, well, I give them credit for 439.5 because according to the survey lines on the site plan, one side of their driveway is at 439 and the other would be at 440. So if you take it in the middle, it's 439.5. So maybe that helped.
Yeah, their original driveway plans had it at 440.
No, I mean, I'm talking about the roadway. Yeah.
Right, 440 is, and then the updated one, they're using 439.
So I think 439.5 is a fair number to use based on the survey. Which actually matches the 9.5 feet, doesn't it?
so if we go to the drawing that shows the elevation from this side of the house, it shows the garage floor extending out almost to the edge of the stairs. Not that one. There you go.
No, not that one either.
Yeah. Oh wait, that's the top of stairs.
Garage floor.
Where the hell are the stairs going? Garage floor at 449. And then that slab appears to be running out past the stairs.
Yeah, what is that? Hmm.
So if that's true, it's really going to steepen up the driveway.
Yeah, that would need to be changed to be consistent with the driveway profile.
If you
And
go
this
to
makes
the-
sense because that way your stairs are going, ending on a flat surface
If you
instead of
go
a
to the
slope.
site- if you go to the site plan, you'll see there's a little landing on the edge of the driveway, which they obviously made that look really flat, but there's a flat landing at the edge of the driveway before the stairs go up. It's probably only 1.5 or 2 feet, but it's something that will be flat off of the driveway.
There'd be another step down
Like that bottom, yep, that would be a bigger step essentially. So the driveway would slope past it. So one side would be higher than the other. Top corner would probably be flush. And you'd have a step up into a bigger flat landing before the stairs transition up.
that doesn't sound very safe, actually.
That's not something I'd want.
Does that meet stairway design?
You gotta match the slope somehow.
Hmm.
But so at the bottom of that, you got kind of a larger landing before you step down onto the slope driveway, I take it. Is that what you just said?
Yes.
There would be another step, if you will, between that landing and the driveway itself.
Correct.
Just on the lower end.
But it's a
Yeah.
bigger landing, so you're not right off the stairs onto a slope driveway.
Yeah, but it's not a real landing as in like a kind of a square landing where it's close
I
enough to
just
step size to be a kind of a worry.
Well, if you look at the front profile on the elevation page, you'll see the side to the left side of the garage door face. That width there, which is 2.5 feet, maybe 3 feet, depending, would be the flat section. So it's much deeper than a step. Because the edge of the driveway follows the profile of the garage door.
Yeah. So how high is that step at each side?
One side would be relatively flush, and the other side, as the driveway contours away, would create a step.
So it'd be fairly flush on the house side.
Yep, on the upper side.
And
Can you lower the whole house another 1.5 feet?
Keep digging it into the ground.
yeah, I just don't see the driveway profile as being a true representation of what it's going to end
Yeah.
up.
Go to the landscape plan. If you zoom in on it there, I think that gives a better representation of that landing at the bottom.
Looks bigger there,
Yeah, that gives
but
more accurate.
2.5 feet?
I'd say at least.
And as a home inspector, landing and steps and stairs and railings are all a big safety concern with the county, and that's something they're inspecting for as well.
What if we contour that concrete to slope away from the driveway up to the stairs and flatten it out the best we can, but have it a smooth transition to the driveway?
So it'll be kind of twisted top.
A little bit, it would have a unique angle to it, but it would soften that.
That'd be better.
And to Joel's point, where it's going to have to be code anyway, from a county perspective, we're going to have to make sure that that's done in a way that they're going to like from safety also.
With that landing, it's not a killer for me either way.
Yeah, me either. I just think that 40-foot dimension, while that might be overall, I don't think it's just going to be a straight slope.
Yeah, I'd like to see the driveway.
And it's really going to steepen up the maximum slope, and that's probably the center section.
Yeah, I'd like to see that cross section where it's actually showing the slope breaks that they need instead of having just one continuous line from there to the edge of the garage. But
Yeah, I mean, all our designers should be like looking at our Appendix A, and none of them seems to be. I don't know, you know. My math says it works, even though you have 18% at the top in Appendix A, it's only 3.5 feet. So it does change the slope, but not hugely.
to me, if Karen says it can work, I'm good with that. But I would like to see something in the file showing what is really expected to be out there.
Yeah, so the bottom can be 39.5 to match the 9 feet 6, so that all makes sense. And then the top 3.5 feet should be shown as an 18% transition section.
But then what happens to the section in the middle?
That's still 25%. If, you know, assuming the bottom is, I mean, the bottom really is in the middle of the driveway, the bottom is 439.5.
The difference here is by putting that drain strip in, you don't need to have the swale at the bottom.
Right.
Okay. But I agree with Bruce. If Karen says it works.
But you should show it. I mean, everybody, all the designers should be intimately familiar with Appendix A.
Yeah, I agree. It should be shown, definitely. Not to mention the way it's drawn right now, if they built it like that, you'd high center your car pulling it in the garage.
We have some houses around here that can't get their vehicles into the garage. And we should learn from that and make sure that that doesn't happen again on the new constructions.
And you're probably going to hit your fender or your bumpers going out to the street.
Yeah.
I think
I know
probably
one house where that happens.
our limits are pretty good. I actually got an inclinometer my husband happens to own, and I put that on 75 Polo Park, was it? Where I scraped my bumper with Bruce in the car.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And that's an amazing driveway. It was 37% the steepest part. It was, yeah, no wonder I dragged my bumper front and back going up that.
Yeah, and that's the concern. How do you fix it after the fact?
You can't. That's why we just have to catch it going forward. That's why the policy changed on that. We need to make sure we stick with what's in the policy. Yeah, I already had to jack a plumbing truck out of the road pavement here across from me too. So, and they're not even quite that bad.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, if Karen says it works and we can get it to work, I just would like to see the I'd just like to see the
representation
cross-section in the file is all.
Yeah.
I'll get you guys an updated cross section showing the breakout per Karen's math at the first 9 feet being 23%, the top 3.5 feet at 18%, and then the middle section 25. We can accommodate that.
Okay.
Great, thank you.
And Joel, you can just mention that to other ones as they come forward, that that's what we're expecting.
Yeah, I will. Mhm.
And was there anything else?
Let's see. Landscaping on the landscape plan reference stormwater designers and maximum square feet of non-native landscaping, 166, and specified density of plants. Not to be less than derived from Lake Walk native land planting worksheet. Add retaining wall sample or description to the spec sheet. They're using the landscape block, right?
Yeah.
And then replant existing unhealthy trees. Oh, specified that with cedar and or big leaf maple, not hemlock. Okay, so we'll specify that too in the so okay. Water. Well, anything else? And then from these comments, some minor things on landscaping.
Sounds good to me. I'd like to move to approve and have Joel work out the minor things that's needed to get into the file.
Sure, and I can send and I can post when we receive the updated driveway, so I can send those out.
Get a second on that?
I'll second.
All in favor? With
Aye.
comments?
Yeah. Aye.
All right.
Unanimous. All right, we'll move on to item number 5, 14 Sparrow Court.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Connor.
I couldn't see this one. For some reason, box number 5 just completely disappeared on me once the comments were added.
Oh, it's really hard to navigate the spreadsheet sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, my computer's been acting really weird since the last update.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
don't want to lose it, you just need to spread out the stretch out the comments where any of the comments that are a little too wide. I mean, that get too deep. Like on Karen's, I can see it now, but I just had to spread her box out to where it allowed it to fit within the height of my screen. Which is why it
I
keeps changing, is I keep grabbing, moving it.
Oh, it's 21 Lost Fork Lane.
Pardon? I didn't,
I just clicked number 5 on mine, and I have 2 monitors on my other monitor here, and it came up 21 Lost Fork Lane.
Really?
Yeah.
I got number 6 for 21 Lost
Oh,
Fork.
item number 6. Wow, where happened to item
Yeah,
5?
5 disappeared.
Oh, it's right here.
Let's try to shorten everybody else.
I got it. It came up, yeah. 14 Sparrow.
Just before the meeting, I clicked on one of the boxes, I don't know how it showed up, but then I was able to just scroll that box and I found it. It was weird.
Yeah, if you can't get something in, try just stretching out Karen's cell.
Now,
Because that'll shorten it, and hopefully you can get the whole thing in on your screen that way.
if one of us does that, that only affects our own view, or it affects everybody's?
That affects everybody. I stretched it here, and I could immediately see the change on Joel's screen.
Okay.
Yeah, when you're editing it for everybody in live time.
So are we ready to begin on 14 Sparrow?
Go for
We
it.
are, yes, sir.
Okay. So this one, this was a previously approved back in, I believe, 2019. And he has had to go through the resubmittal reapproval process. Nothing has changed according to him, according to the plans, except I've asked him to make some landscaping plan revisions. He did not have a landscaping plan at all. So let's see.
I guess I was looking at the policies and we don't specifically require that to be a separate plan. But the information from it should be on one of the site plans.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I don't think excuse me. I haven't had any coffee this morning. Our builder is don't believe is here yet. Is he in on the Zoom? Vlad, are you here?
I don't see him, no.
Okay, I sent him the link.
Yeah, he has not been here tonight or today. I'm sorry,
Okay.
this morning.
You
Right.
want to jump to do you want to jump to number 6 then in case it comes on later?
We could. I don't think number 6 is. I don't think either of these builders are here.
Okay, well, let's just go for it then.
Sure. Okay. Comments from Bruce. Is the rock retaining wall going to be maintained? Good question. So this is the retaining wall and extends from the.
Looks like from the neighbors, it goes right next,
Mhm.
practically underneath the overhang of his roof there.
Section right here. Yeah, he's gonna have to do something about that.
We might be okay. I don't know.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, I don't know what his plans are for that. Need to see the chip for the orange accent color. Too bright. Or even accent color. Let's see. So I did ask him. I made him. He does have the physical chips in the office. If you want to come by and take a look. So I've given him the pre-approved color samples. He checked out a copy of the chips.
I'd love to see him pick something off there instead of this light color black and then orange. It's definitely not my choice of a subdued color palette going into a forested setting.
That is certainly within your purview to accept or reject. And
Are the colors on the pre-approved list or no? The other colors? I'm assuming orange is not.
they are not.
Okay,
Yeah, they're definitely not. So certainly, if you don't like it, vote on to not approve it, and then we'll make him go pick new colors. What else? Yeah, black is also not a preferred color. Garage door should be painted body color. Yeah, body color is very light black trim or an accent would prefer to have. Yeah. So yeah, we can decide on the paint, and then landscape plan with a question mark. Yeah, so this one, his previous landscape plan just had a it's a site plan with some, oops, what's going on here? Some markers on it. Oh, here he is. The builder is texting me. I'll try to get him. Oh, where's our landscape? So what I'm sending the builders for their landscaping plan is, okay, define where your retained native vegetation is going to be, your replanted native vegetation, and any areas labeled as landscaping. And then in the areas of replanted and native, sorry, in the areas of replanted and landscaping, identify the plant species, native plant species to go in there, the number, quantity of them. So he has kind of colored it in here. I think based on an example I provided him, I said he didn't need to color it in, but we have the areas of where it's going to be retained, clearing boundary, and then maintained native landscape. He has labeled. And what we got? Says something, some Sudden Valley and Whatcom County requirements. So he doesn't have plants, he doesn't have the species of plants to be planted, nor the quantity.
some of the others we've allowed to go forward, just a note on the plans, on the landscape plan, that the density of plants be, not greater than, I mean, at least as much as what that worksheet gives you.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I'm concerned, I'd like to improve on that, but if they just stick that note on there, that's probably enough for now. I don't know. That they follow the worksheet that Michael Kirchner gave us,
Mm-hmm.
and not plant their plants any further apart than that. It's better if they tell us what they're going to do, and then adjustments in the field can be made. But at least if they commit to this, then we won't be having that one fern every 20 feet thing happening again.
Mm-hmm. So here's where we were. All right. So landscaping plan, do we want to have this more fleshed out, or is that acceptable? They have the comment, Sudden Valley, replanting per Sudden Valley and Whatcom County requirements.
Well, if that's going to be the landscaping plan, also just scribble on it that says landscaping plan so we know what we're aiming at. I just wasn't sure which was his landscaping plan because nothing was labeled.
Mm-hmm.
And what's going on in the front there that's staying white? Yeah.
This area.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do they reference the amount of non-native landscaping that the designer gave them?
For the stormwater, no.
So they should do that, I would think. And then also, it'd be better if they just said, if they referenced this worksheet, so that that's kind of a minimum commitment. Lot 17 sort of half enclosed over it. I'm getting a headache. My eyes are crossing. Anyway.
Need to grab a pen.
Yeah, what does that say there?
Can't read it.
Yeah, it doesn't help even when you zoom all the way in. You did a copy paste on the label and left an extra one in there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go through it. So landscape plan needs some updates.
Yep.
We've got moving on to some Kara's comments, please. Add a note. Oh yeah, landscape plans, density of native plants. So you can send these all back to the builder. Please label the finished grade on sheets A900 and 903. Finished grade elevations of the corners of the home. Changes in slope. I have my so we need finished grade elevations on the elevations pages. We do have
Wait, Joel. Chad and I were talking on the phone the other day, and he suggested that I maybe get with you. I don't know how the rest of the committee feels about my getting access to the plans early, so that I can give you my comments early, and they can be kind of ironed out a little bit before the meetings, so that everybody doesn't have to sit through it all. I don't know if that's something everybody would feel good about or not.
Sure doesn't bother me any.
Yeah, doesn't bother me either.
Me either. I like your input.
The
What we
same
gotta
comment.
do is get county, Karen, and that way we'll know the plans will come straight out of there, correct?
The same problem on their elevation is showing the grade and stuff on the driveway there. They just have a straight line there. There's no breaks, no flattening out before in front of the garage or anything. If that's really the way they're doing it, that's, I guess. It seems like they're well within their slope, but you would think that they wouldn't have a straight line one across.
Yeah, and also after having discussed that last one, it seems like they should have a flat area where their steps come down.
Yeah.
If it's close to the driveway, I don't remember how far away. Let me see.
Looking on the south elevation, you can definitely see being very interesting step the way that south elevation showing it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do have a
same thing.
longer walk to get there than the other
Yeah, I
one.
mean, they can easily put it in by changing the slope a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah, they can do what they're showing here, which is actually pretty nicely detailed, where that walkway kind of makes that transition.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like their driveway is flat enough that they could also make it flat at the top. So that's, I
Yeah.
guess, their choice. But we do want to see the 3.5 feet at 18% at least. Or is it all less than 18%? I
I
don't
think
remember.
it's less than 18.
It is? Okay. Well, then they can do that if they want. Just go straight.
They could, but they could flatten that out a lot more right by in front of the steps, so you're not having that weird step going up there. And
Weird, yeah, that walkway that has to twist.
yeah,
And they're not showing the drain swale, which I believe they could easily do.
so one way or the other, either that or the showing the strip going across.
and they really should be showing either the slope percentage or angle. It's not up to us to calculate.
Oh, they do have it here.
Then they got an angle in degrees, right?
Hmm. You want it in percent, is what you're asking?
It doesn't matter, degrees or percent either way.
Okay.
I just didn't
I
see.
like percent, but it's easy to figure it out if they have the other dimensions in there, what the percent is. So it doesn't matter either way.
All right, next up, let's see, comment number 3. Showing finished grade along the 2 sides of the home, much lower than existing, despite the side setbacks being small. Yeah, the ground immediately adjacent to the home should not slope toward the home, and nowhere on the lot should new slope steeper than 2 to 1 create unless the surface will be exposed bedrock. We show finished grade at home approximately equal to the existing grade. The adjacent side property lines, a modest rockery or landscape rock retaining wall could be installed along the property line, but not a big tall one. Does that make sense? So since the width of the house is taking up so much of the width of the lot, they don't have a lot of room to grade the soil. Oh.
Yeah, on the right side, it's a straight 5 foot the whole way, and on the left side, it's 5 feet at the front and a little bigger at the back. But they don't have a lot of land there to be changing the grade radically.
They don't have a lot of space to work with, right?
Yeah. Oh, and I didn't even notice that tree. And, the 54-inch fir has to go.
Yeah, and we've obtained permission from there's a permission letter in the.
Yeah, I think that lot actually is owned by the same person.
Correct.
Yeah.
I assume that the retaining walls must tie together a little bit in that back corner. Otherwise, how are we going?
About that too.
Say that again, Bruce.
The lower right side corner, there looks like 2 retaining walls that are basically parallel. Something's going to have to happen with the dirt at the corner between those things. You're looking at that slope right there. Doesn't that have to? Yeah. Doesn't something have to hold that in?
Yeah, he's got to turn the corner with his retaining walls. He's got to figure something that works. Our policies require actually that a retaining wall elevation be shown, the elevation view of each retaining wall. And, that would help clarify how these retaining walls actually work.
Yeah, I'm surprised about the software there. When I put my stuff in there, it automatically readjusted the topography lines to give me finished grades. So you just don't see that on these.
No.
Mhm. What's next? Comment 4. Please show elevation views of retaining wall. Yeah. Identify finished grade elevations from the back. Just talked about that, so we'll have them do that. To reduce disturbance of remaining trees at the rear. You can make the upper wall a rockery or landscape block. Consider running walls parallel to existing contour lines. Ties into comment number 4. We talked about the driveway, comment 6. Dimension the roofing layout. Yeah, I had to measure. I did all the calculations with the roofing layout, and it was a little frustrating. It wasn't dimensioned, but it is within it does fall within the correct lot coverage rules.
Yeah, it was a very complex shape. And at that point, it's like, I'm going to dig through all the different plan sheets to try and figure it out. That's too much for them to expect of you.
Yeah, and it's really I don't know how you're going to measure it when you're looking at the digital files as the ACC, but I am pulling the plans up on my table and measuring each of them. I know I think this is the first one I had seen where the roofing plan was not.
Yeah, last year they were doing that, at least some of the submittals, dimensioning those roof layouts. We can, if that makes our job easier, we can require that, I think. The minimum they should be doing, which many of them are not, is label the roof overhang width. They should draw everything to scale, but they should also label the important things so that it kind of makes it a commitment. Rather than, oops, we drew it wrong, so sorry,
What else? Number 8, please show a culvert under the driveway. Can make them do that. Number 9, stormwater treatment trench, sanitary sewer. Same place on the site plan, please correct. The stormwater and SW and SD lines on the site plan seem redundant and confusing. Need detail for the storm drain in the filter shell on C1. So let's go back up and take a look at their SD and SW.
I'm gonna move my golf cart so my wife can get out.
So yeah, the stormwater lines, there are some places, and I noticed it too, where on the plans he's got a pipe leading out here, or there's one coming over here, which don't really are unnecessary. I can't imagine that they would actually build it in that way.
And then the sanitary sewer is going right through the treatment trench, which,
Down here.
no, the, up there, yeah. Where it says SFB. What does SFB mean? I forgot. Anyway, it doesn't matter. See, the SS goes across from the road, right through the,
Oh, this SS.
yeah.
Mhm. So that'll need to change. Okay, did Vlad make it in the meeting here? Don't see him. So it's sounds like we have enough comments here that we can, if you want, we can send this back to him, have him address these issues.
So do we need to move to defer then? Or you just want to take it back and bring it back later?
We can move to defer.
Yeah.
I'll
You
second.
want to wait till Tom comes back? So we
Okay.
can get it unanimous?
No.
Or you can put down 2 and 1 abstention.
Yeah, do you want to, who's making the motion, Karen or Bruce?
Karen did.
And who wants to second it?
I second.
All in favor of deferral?
Aye.
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 There we go. Unanimous, deferred.
Good timing.
Okay.
All right, item number 6, 21 Lost Fork Lane.
All right, and the builder for this one is not here either. Let me send him a text.
Your first comment there is interesting, Karen.
Yeah, after Bruce commented on Clematis Lane, I did Clematis Lane just to see. And they snuck under the 35% almost exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And then I noticed that this one seemed to be kind of big too, so I did it.
Comment from Bruce, yeah, black, not a preferred color. Especially what's going to be black, garage doors being a black color. Lots of these, but a majority of these plans I've seen all have black trim. It's very popular right now.
I personally don't mind black as a trim color as long as they're not going to be a big area.
Yeah, as long as it's
Yeah,
not a
it's
big
lighting.
area of it, exactly. So we need to just specify what they're putting in trim. We don't want a big black garage door.
Yeah, our
Or-
form has spaces for, what the garage door is supposed to be, doesn't it?
I thought so.
The language, it is under the accent color, but it's also labeled, if we do have the language that says the garage door color is supposed to be the body color, unless otherwise
Oh yeah,
approved.
see, the garage door and front door should not be 2 colors. They should be 1 color. Pick one, which one, Same color as body. If we cross out the trim, then we're good. Or, fine for the garage door to be body and the front door to be trim color maybe.
Yeah.
Didn't we have one last meeting where they had some trim on the front door?
Yeah, it seems like the newer garage doors or with the glass panels and stuff have the it doesn't look so bad as having black as trim on the garage door itself, but as long as we don't have large black panels of it.
Right.
And those two colors, Inkwell and Earl Grey, are not on the pre-approval list for the color palette.
Yeah, the Earl Grey didn't look like it was too bad. It's just right in the normal gray zone. So it's just how much, I just need to specify how much black he's going to use and make sure we're not having a big black hole for a door or a garage door.
Right. All right. Let's move on to Karen's comments here. We've got.
These people realize how hard it is to keep black clean, especially with all the spider shit we get. It's just gonna be streaked in white.
Oh, the calculations about the plan violating the property coverage rule and the open space rule. 2,347 square feet roof area, and then 3,428. You know, let me check, because I did take some photos of a couple of my spec sheets before I left, or not my spec sheets, the what I had for my plan review. I don't know if I got this one. Oh, shoot. They're on my other phone. So for 21 Lost Fork, so we could compare our numbers. I got for the footprint 1,780.
Yes.
That puts it at 28.2%. And then the open space, I have 3,270.5, and that puts it at 40. How did I do that right? 48%.
What street do I turn on?
I'll send you my spreadsheet.
Prospect.
Yeah, I had 48% on my open space, so that means, let's see. So they are violating the open space rule.
I mean, isn't that grounds for immediate denial? Even though we go through the others, but
Yeah, you can make that motion.
Yeah, we can get together and I can send you my spreadsheet.
Yeah,
Now
sure.
let's go through everything first. We've had that problem before. If we deny it and just list one thing, then they come back, they say it's fixed, and then they come back with a threat to sue saying, well, we did, if it has other reasons to deny it, we need to identify everything up front and document it.
I agree.
We've gone down that rabbit hole before and we got bit by it. So let's go through the whole thing.
Let's see. Detailed landscaping plan, stormwater design. It's based on the basin area, significantly smaller than those shown in the site plan. Deck is not shown. Area needs to be reduced to fit the design or recalculated. So the areas for the stormwater are smaller than, it doesn't match the site plan. It's what you're saying.
Yeah. You
Right.
flashed past that sketch. It's the one without all the green. It's the other one,
Mm-hmm.
not this one.
Oh yeah, I see you're saying that.
The other axe one shows the numbers that they used. Yeah, that one. And the driveway doesn't look anything like, yeah. There's no deck and all that, so
Mm-hmm.
again, I can send you my spreadsheet. You can see what I did.
That drive looks way too big.
Width-wise,
It's only 14 feet when it hits the pavement,
Yeah,
but then it widens out to,
What?
I scaled it as about 36.5 feet.
mm-hmm.
well, okay. I see why. Third car there, third garage.
Yeah, they have 3. I don't know how visible this will be from the road. On my driving around, I saw there was a house. I turned around in their driveway because they had this huge driveway, like also a 3-car garage that's in place. Somewhere in Sun Valley, and I forgot where.
Yeah, it seems like we've been kind of lenient on the driveway width when there's a 3-car garage.
But it
Yeah, I
should,
mean,
That makes sense to me.
I think in
Yeah,
the
it's
right of way,
got
they
to be.
can go with the 20 feet. But on their property, they can have the driveway plus some extra parking if it's within their open space rule. Is what I
Yeah.
would do. As long as it's not going to be really, really ugly.
It should be funneled back to 20 feet where it hits the road. It shouldn't be any wider than that.
Yeah.
But
Also, if they have these huge ones, maybe we should start asking for exposed aggregate or some kind of patterning or something so it doesn't look like this huge white, blindingly white expanse of concrete. I don't know. I don't know why they're only 14 feet at the roadway. You know, that factors into the stormwater designer's calculations. They include all of that.
And if they're already violating their open space, they can't really go any wider than 14 feet.
Well, the 14 feet isn't on the property, so it doesn't affect our open space.
Yeah, the open space rule is only on there.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It matters for the stormwater designer, I guess, because Whatcom County apparently cares.
All right, let's see. Next up, please label your roof overhang widths. Yeah. To enable lot coverage calculations without guesswork. Confirm your driveway details, the ACC policy appendix A.
That might have been a comment for the last one too, that I forgot to put on, that they should have the driveway radius and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if our policies shouldn't be changed instead of a radius to have like a 45-degree part, because I know that a little narrow wedge of concrete tends to break. But that's something for the future.
Down there at the street.
Yeah, instead of a radius where you'll have a kind of a fragile little bit at the end, just
Yeah.
have like a,
That can break off.
yeah.
Either.
We should probably put that in our in appendix A.
Culvert under the driveway. Please show elevation view of the retaining wall Okay. Wall height should taper at the ends. Sheet C 900 to 903. Label finished grade elevations, corner of the homes. That changes in slope along the sides of the home. Yeah. Finished grade elevations. Some policies. We're showing finished grade along two sides of the home, much lower than existing, despite the right side setback being small. This is similar to the comment with, wait, am I reading the right one? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit different because they have more room on one side. I didn't check in detail whether they would be able to catch that with a 2-to-1 slope or not, but it's like 17.5 foot setback on one side. So maybe they have a chance that works. I don't know.
And then I couldn't find the survey pins and all the weeds. Yeah. I did. So I went to this one. It was a couple of weeks ago, and I did see corners. And I did see the house corners outlined, but you know there were some stakes laying on the ground. I saw. So I don't know if things had been changed or moved. But I had them, and I take photos when I go out.
Yeah, I was trying to identify whether the trees were as shown. I've noticed a few times there are trees that don't show up on the surveys. Like this one had a really big vine maple, like many trunks, kind of in the middle of the lot that isn't shown here. And some of the others.
Vine maples aren't trees.
Well, they're allowed to replace them with the native plant landscaping has them in the tree category. Anyway, it seemed big enough that it should be marked, but anyway. So I was trying to figure out where the lot line was because there's an empty lot. There's more than one empty lot actually on the one side. And so it would have been nice if they had weed whacked around the survey marker so I could actually see it.
Yeah, I do have photos of this one with let's see with the corners staked and photos of some of those corners, but yeah, it can be a little disorienting going out and looking at the survey and the trees. And
yeah, they had string going around, like attached to all different trees along the front. I don't know what that was for.
On this one? Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that might be kind of a clue where the pin was, but do you remember how high up on the slope that the pins are?
It was quite a ways back there. I thought I thought I had gone far enough, and I had to keep going.
Oh.
It was a hike. I can show you the.
So maybe that's why I didn't look. I wasn't looking in the right place.
You can see that. That's the rear left corner.
Oh, the rear corner. Okay. Yeah.
It's got the pin in there, and it does have the mason line strung to it.
Yeah, I chickened out of climbing all the way up to the top, actually, on this one.
It was steep.
It was. . first part wasn't that bad, but there's a part there where it's really,
Okay, well, let's see. I think that's the end of our comments here on 21 Lost Fork.
Another deferral, huh?
I can send these to the builder.
Get a motion on that, on this project?
move to defer.
Move to deny.
Second?
I'll second the denial until they fix the first comment there.
Yeah.
All right,
I don't know how they're gonna fix that.
Want to amend our motion?
okay, we have,
Died for lack of a second.
I guess so.
Yeah, Bruce moved to deny, and I'll agree with that. I'll second that, and then add the other comments in there so that they can work it on all at one time. So deny
Perfect.
with
Yeah,
comment.
make sure all the comments are in there so that they're not going in the thing, they have just one thing to deal with.
All in favor of denial with comments?
Aye.
Unanimous?
Okay,
So Joel, tell me, would you prefer it to have been deferred or denied in a case like this? It's essentially the same thing, only it's more than just a little tweak on this, I think.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't affect me really.
Okay.
Defer denied because they'll right, they're gonna try to come back with to address the issue, right? And
Yeah, either way, they have to come back to us.
Do they own the empty lot next door?
No,
No?
that's actually combined with the lot up the hill behind. Just sold apparently recently to a couple named Muller, according to the county website, county assessors. Yeah, they have
Yeah,
two trees really
I think
close.
the motion to be denied as submitted with comments. I think that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, and clearly identify why it was denied.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a tough one to fix.
well, they can shrink the house. I mean, they need a different house plan, is what I think. But I'll send my spreadsheet to Joel and
sure.
see if I did something wrong.
All right, guys, is there any new business to discuss? And remember, you're
So the main, so it's the main meeting is gonna be 2 weeks from now? We're kind of shifting our first and
Yes.
third Thursday then?
yes.
yeah. July 1st is our actually regular meeting. Would be the first Thursday of the July, but we're moving that one.
Yes,
That shifts 1 week then, right? To the, what, 8th?
yes, it does.
So
Okay.
what's our next few meetings gonna be then?
So the 8th is the next normal ACC meeting and will be normal schedule from then.
Okay,
Oh, good. It'll be the 8th and then the 22nd again.
Yes, and if we need more new construction meetings, we can talk about that. Joel, do you think we're gonna need to require these extra ones?
The every week extra meetings.
Yes,
I don't know. I think the majority of our new constructions have come in this year, and I think we're just trickling them in. Now.
great. Let's wait and see what the demand is on the 8th for another meeting and we'll make the decision then.
Okay.
Yeah, I
and
think that's
then
great.
Our next normal meeting would have been the 15th. Are we shifting that a week too? Are we shifting both of those by a week?
It's entirely up to you guys. We are gonna have resident requests. If you don't want to hear those for the meeting on the 8th, we could hold them a week, but people are trying to get work done.
yeah.
So if we're doing it on the 8th, then do we want to shift the second meeting then up to the 22nd? Because the normal would have been 15th on that.
Correct, you're right. Would have been the first and the fifth.
Well, maybe we should play that by ear right now.
Yes.
I mean, to allow people to get stuff in, I mean, there's got to be normal requests. Maybe we can just do we could do the 2nd and the 4th. It's just that everybody's expecting our schedule to be the 1st and 3rd.
It's entirely up to you guys.
I'm not opposed to a different day of the week if that helps, or unless we're required to hold them on Thursdays.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues that we got to stick to Thursdays, at least for right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm Aaron. I think maybe we should play it by ear. We go in on the 8th and see how many requests we have, and then Susie, you'll know if we need to do one on the 15th. Then you'll know by
Yes.
how many requests you're getting in the office. That yeah, we'll go ahead and do that then on the 15th as a regular meeting.
Sounds
And then the
perfect.
next meeting would be the the next regular meeting would be August 5th then,
Oh,
because we always do 1st and 3rd.
I might miss the 8th, or at least some of it. I'm traveling. That the day will be.
We did get another ACC applicant.
That's great.
Oh, yeah.
Does that mean we need to have 2 in order to vote for somebody? We got any ringers left?
Yeah, we got actually a couple applications. I called, talked to one gentleman briefly. He was traveling to Seattle, and he said he was going to give me a call back in the afternoon. He didn't call back, so I have to recall into him. And I got a new one yesterday that I haven't spoke to yet.
Who approves them? Is it us or the board?
No, well, according to Glenn, it's going to go through us first. So I'm giving them a call and then, make sure I can share the information with you guys. I'm sure they're all up to that. And then we'll talk about them and then decide who we want to approve. And then we send our nominations to the board, and the board actually decides to agree with us. Typically, they will agree with our recommendation.
Okay.
But that's how it was described to me by Glenn, how we had to proceed instead of just us making the and putting them on the committee. The board has to approve them.
Yeah, that's the way we've always done it in the past. It's always been a 2-step, and unfortunately, we've always needed one person to lose. So at some point in time when there have been people that have volunteered to be on the ballot, and they say they don't really want to do it, just so we can have our get the people on.
Yeah, I asked Glenn if he would ask the lawyer whether that's really true, that we have to have more volunteers than we can approve. And he never got back to me on that one. He did say that the quorum was not a majority of 9, but a majority of the people actually on the committee.
Okay, that helps. And yeah,
That's fine.
if we could approve people that have, instead of voting for always having a loser, that would really help simplify things, because we don't have that many people volunteering.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're short staffed now as it is, so I was just hoping there was a way to speed things up a little bit.
So Glenn didn't answer that. I guess the lawyer didn't answer that question. So.
Yeah, because Chad doesn't
Anytime.
seem to be able to make the meetings very often anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, Joel, thank you for your time, man. I appreciate it. I know you're on vacation, so I really appreciate you hanging in there and doing this for us, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I move to adjourn the meeting.